people, including the Wikimedia Foundation and lots of very interesting people on the internet. So this is the Rosetta Stone. This is the most important artifact, I think, in the British Museum. And it used to be the case that learned men would come and they would discuss what the Rosetta Stone was and try and learn all about it. Sadly, that doesn't happen anymore. It's a great shame. This is what you see if you go to the British Museum today. 3 paragraphs of text in English. That's if you can fight your way through all the tourists. 3 paragraphs of text in English. That's all the British Museum has about the Rosetta Stone. And I think that's a crying shame. So what if there were a seamless and low-cost way to harness the synergies between the self-organising online learning communities and traditional knowledge-based institutions of cultural treasures to provide a 360-degree solution to a diverse range of stakeholders? Well, it's quite a bit of a mouthful. What I'm trying to get at is, what if we take museums, take QR codes, take Wikipedia, and sort of smush it all together and create something awesome? And we call this awesome thing QRpedia, because I'm not very good at naming things. I thought QR. You get the sort of portmanteau that I'm doing. So what is it? Well, technically you're not allowed to stick things on the Rosetta Stone, so please don't tell the British Museum I did this. Stick a QR code on an artifact and see what happens when you scan it. Well, what does happen? Well, this is what we did. We created a service where you scan the QR code and it takes your phone to the mobile Wikipedia page of that article, of that artifact. That's pretty cool. Rosetta Stone, scan it. Oh, look, I can now read pages and pages. But that's not good enough. That's not good enough what I want to do. You see, up to 50% of visitors to UK museums are foreigners. Now, I know they should all learn to speak English, but they don't. So, how do we deal with people who don't speak English? Well, this is what we do. Oh, I thought that was going to work. Here we go. This is what we want. We want any phone to be able to scan one QR code and get the article in their language. If you're French, the French version, Chinese, the Chinese version. We don't want 500 QR codes, one for each language, one QR code, scan it, and then no matter what your language is, it will work. So this is what you do. Go along to qrpedia.org. You paste in the Wikipedia URL of the article that you want, and a QR code is generated for you. Nice and simple. You stick it up somewhere, and then people scan the code. Again, nice and simple. You can do your own decorations around here, make it part of your museum branding. People scan the code, and then, when you start up your phone, it asks you what language you want to speak when you first get it out of the box. Well, that's sent with every HTTP request in the accept language header. So, you scan the code, goes to the URL, goes to the QRpedia service, and we go, aha, your phone speaks Norwegian. We will get the Norwegian version from the API of this article and return it to you. And that works across all the languages. So we started this as a trial in Derby Museum and Gallery, and it went fantastically. They put QR codes on everything from gold, which is fairly common, lots of good articles, to slightly obscure figures who are very important in Derby's history. We then went international to the National Children's Museum of Indianapolis, which is in America. That's Laurie Phillips there. And they did this lovely branding. Some of you may recognise that chap in the corner there. Anyone? Jimmy Wales, yes. Jimmy Wales saw the QRpedia codes and he thinks, and I quote, they're pretty cool. And in fact, if you go onto Twitter now and you do a search for QRpedia, you'll see the web's going nuts about it. We've had some really good articles. So I'm very pleased with that. The whole team is. This here is the Doomsday Book. That's not a replica of the Doomsday Book, it's not a copy. That is the real Doomsday Book in the National Archives in Kew, and that's a QRpedia code. In fact, there's a dozen QRpedia codes in the National Archives. They're taking over, people. It's fantastic. We're collecting all sorts of stats to see what sort of people's phones are in museums. And as you'd expect, iPhone does fairly well. We've got Android, but then lots of obscure things like Barda and really old versions of Microsoft Internet Explorer, because any phone with a camera can scan QR codes. This isn't an elitist thing. We're looking at the future. What we want to do is grab images out of Wikipedia and place them in the QR codes. You've got a bit of an idea. I've chosen Che Guevara because he's fairly familiar to most people in black and white. So our vision, we want a QR code, QRpedia code, on every major exhibit, in every museum, in every art gallery and library and archive around the world. And at the moment, we're well on the way to doing that. So if you've got any questions, please visit qrpedia.org or catch me afterwards. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.